I want to start by giving you a quote by a phenomenal man. His name is Bruce Wayne. You and I, with what we do, what's at stake, we can't fail. Others don't understand, but even if it's impossible, we still have to succeed. Today I'm going to tell you why I believe that superheroes are more important than role models. Superheroes are more important than role models. Now, some of you in your head are saying, you can't be kidding me right now. But I'm being honest. One day I was in the shower, and before I got in the shower, I was looking at a superhero trailer, the Superman trailer that's coming out for the movie that's coming summer. And I watched the trailer at least 10 times. It inspired me. It gave me hope. And I said something to myself. I said, you know, superheroes are real. And then before I got in the shower, I went to the dictionary and looked up the term role model. And this is what I found. Do you know that the term role means a position that someone plays? It's an act. Model is an individual who plays the role of a three-dimensional structure, the imitation of the original. Question, why would you want someone to be the imitation of the original? Why would you raise your child to be a diluted version of the original, a role model? So I said, but superhero, when I went to the term of superhero, this is what it says. Super means pleasant, very good. Hero, an individual that gives hope, one that is amazing, one that is glorified or just given amongst a positive insight. Superhero. Now, when I think about it, I said, you know, with a role model, an individual has to give you that label. Now, I know all of us, when we were getting older, we heard someone say, you know, that's a great role model. You should follow him, follow her. Or if someone did something wrong, don't follow that individual because that's a bad individual to deal with. That you should not follow that individual. And what I learned is that role models can either be bad or good. But the difference between a role model and a superhero is this. A superhero cannot be imitated. He or she has a particular power that no one else can duplicate. This individual gives hope, inspires. They're within the world, but they're not of the world. They're crucified each and every day, but even though they are crucified by the same individuals that they protect, they are still here. A superhero. Gandhi, superhero. Mother Teresa, superhero. Martin Luther King, superhero. Individuals that transcend. Role models can't do that. See, role models, they don't use their power to the highest ability because if they do, they may get put in a box of negative or positive. But because they want to fulfill this role, they have to be able to not use their full inner power to its full extreme. But see, superheroes, they don't bother about it. They don't care about the opinions of mere men. Why? Because they understand that they have purpose. They wake up each and every day for a particular reason. It's just to fulfill their purpose. Role models can't do that because they can't find their purpose because they are trying to follow another individual. Role model. Now, as I tell you about this, I use Bruce Wayne as an example because he is an individual who's considered a superhero, but you recognize that he's put in the same level as Superman. We all know he's the man of steel, that's Superman. But you notice that Batman didn't have a particular superpower as in like to see through walls or whatnot. He used his influence, his wealth, and his struggle, what he did with his parents when they passed away. He felt like, you know, I'm going to find purpose in my life by this particular struggle. And because he used his influence, his connections, and his wealth, that was his resource of power to be able to help those that within Gotham City. And when I seen that, I thought about that, I said, you know, that's individuals like a mother who tells their child that you can be anything you want to be. She's a superhero. A father that's there for his child says, you know what, son, in this world, see no color. Transcend your message, your word. That's a superhero. Because individuals like that allow an individual to be who they are, to use their power to its full out extent, to the highest power, to the highest extreme possible. But so when I give you this speech, I want you to think about this. Are you a role model or are you a superhero? That's a question you should ask yourself. Are you a role model or a superhero? Would you want to be the individual that imitates another individual who's original? To be the imitation? Or do you want to be the individual that is the one that has to fulfill their purpose and only recognize that, you know, I am an individual that's custom made. No one like me. And because of that, I have a power that no one else can duplicate. And because of that, I can sit here and inspire and give hope to the world. questions. Yes.
Aren't you putting too much pressure on people to become infallible demigods?
No. Well, I'm not saying that to be a god, because a superhero, again, that label of God is something that's a role. That's another label. So, I'm just saying that an individual who's a superhero knows who they are, and for you, I can say I'm a superhero because I know who I am. I fulfill my purpose every day, but I won't call myself God because I know exactly my position. But if I accept that, then I'm going to be considered a role model, because now I have to realize that there comes a requirement by saying I am a demigod. So I say I can't be that. So an individual who is a superhero says, I don't have to fulfill this particular role because that's not the label that I'm going to accept. Yes?
Couldn't a supermodel be a role model and vice versa?
A supermodel? That's interesting. First thing I think about Victoria's Secret fashion show. I don't know why, but. But go ahead, what was the question again?
Superheroes, can they be like role models and vice versa?
Well, that's the thing. Like a role model has followers, and I believe that, but one thing about superheroes are considered to be admired. And that's the difference. When you go through in the dictionary and they say, when you define role model and superhero, a superhero is only admired. Role models have followers. Because what happens is you can imitate these individuals. Like I always think about like a celebrity. These celebrities are role models. But a superhero, like you got to think about an individual who can transcend. Like you're like, you know what? Gandhi is Gandhi. Like you can admire what he has done in the world and how he has transcended his message and what he's done. But there will never be another Gandhi. And so what happens is, as a role model, I think that role models, of course, they have followers, but I don't think that, I hope I'm answering your question correctly, but a role model is the one that have followers. A superhero lets you know that you can just be you. Like you can admire what I do, but don't follow everything. I'm the blueprint, but I'm not going to be the all-ending result.
For example, you said Martin Luther King, Gandhi were all
superheroes.
But according to Martin Luther King's speech, he considered Gandhi a role model.
Well, see that, and that's interesting. But again, like Martin at that time said that, and just going through my research, I'm just going in depth with my research. I realized and just kind of had this epiphany, saying, you know what, like to Martin, he was a role model, but I'm saying he was a superhero. Now, one thing that I also found out is, like, you think about superheroes are not really recognized until they're gone. Like there was a time where Superman had an issue with society. Society didn't want him. Spider-Man has with the Daily Planet. Like all these individuals that they were protecting didn't want him around anymore. Batman had the issue, so they went away. And when they went away, they realized, like, I need them. Like the society was like, we need you to come back. And so in that terms, like I didn't even know that Martin even called Gandhi a role model. And if I ever had a chance, if Martin was alive today, I would really would love to have a discussion and say, no, I believe he's a superhero, and have that debate. Go for it.
Do you think it's fair to tell children that they should look up to superheroes, a model for someone or something that they can never be, versus a role model which creates a path for them to follow in order to be something?
Well, that's a great question. Well, that's just like the other question. It's another great one. One thing that it goes back to the trailer for Superman. When Clark Kent was young, his mother, his father said, why did you do what you did? He says, what am I supposed to do? I'm not supposed to save these people? And he was like, his father said, I don't know. And what happens is at a particular point, like as a kid, you don't know the power that you possess. It's up to your parents are considered God, or they find out who God is, who superheroes are through you, what you expose them to. So a child doesn't know, but when he gets to a certain age, he's going to question that. And sometimes it was very interesting is that when you are around individuals who don't realize they're superheroes, it's going to be hard for a genius or someone brilliant or someone to transcend to grow in the sense of knowing that they can be who they are and not be crucified or bullied or whatnot because of their superpowers. So at a particular point, a child that has parents that don't allow them to just be themselves, it's going to be very difficult. So, again, this is just a spark that I just thought about a theory, but it's something that question is something that we can definitely ponder on and figure out, how do you teach your child that it's okay to be themselves? I think we're in a generation now for that, where everyone is being themselves, and that's a great thing. And you realize all the things from the Steve Jobs to the Facebooks, these individuals were allowed to just be themselves and, show off their superpowers.